tuning in to Chaos Culture Radio. Dropping knowledge in the studio, you already know.
Thank you for tuning in to Chaos Culture Radio. This is Prince Hakeem.
And this your man, Ronnie Ron. Hey, Hakeem, man, I was right here working. And next thing you know, I see a phone call. He said, yo, we got somebody coming on the show. I was like, yo, I'm down. Let's go.
Definitely.
Let's do it.
We have a special guest.
Yes, sir.
Highly spoken about from one of the most infamous groups on Facebook. Infamous.
Yes, uh-huh.
You know what I mean? They got the first page taken down. They came back with a 2.0.
Damn, 2.0? I mean, 2.0, the smashing and the
yeah, basically. Our beloved is in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I was very interested to speak to this person because I've watched quite very few of her videos, and I was interested about it. I know you've spoken to her.
Yeah, she's very well educated. I love her style. I like how she's straightforward with the answer. Anything you ask her, she got the answer to it. You know, I like to see educated black women like that. Like, you get to build with them, get to learn on both sides.
Now, definitely. Now, this is going to be a beautiful thing because how the Let's Chat community will hear this. You feel me? And Chaos Culture Radio, we got a lot of, the boys club is here. So, I'd like to introduce Miss Nefertiti.
Hey, Miss Nefertiti, how's it going? What's happening?
Up? Hi, everyone.
Man, how your day going? Like,
it's going well. How was everyone's day going?
It's going fantastic.
I'm doing well. I'm not gonna lie, Hakeem, I'm kind of nervous. I'm like,
I know you're nervous because she cussed your ass out the other day. I know you're nervous.
I almost had my pants be removed.
Yeah.
I'm over here like shaking in my car.
But Ms. Nefertiti, before we get into this, I first want to say I appreciate you taking to speak to us. You know what I mean?
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for coming. You know what I mean? We was going to send my boy to go holler at you for me, but I said, let me go do the work myself.
Oh, well, thank you. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Nefertiti, so let's talk. So, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Let's first address that.
Let's do it. I'm ready.
You ready? Now, I want you to tell us what the elephant in the room is.
I mean, it depends on what the subject it is. It's your podcast. No,
it's not an assumption, but I guess you know what I mean. We have this whole, I don't want to call it a gender war or what you might say, or just maybe a difference in opinions when it comes to certain things about relationships. As far as like, I know one of the big topic which is always a big topic, is the whole single mother thing.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That very big one. And even in the last chat, you had a lot of very, very vocal people on there, you know what I mean? And it seemed like it was crossing on both sides. So, I wanted to know what compelled you to wanted to ask that question.
When I asked, you mean the question that's in the group? You have to verify that. You mean the question about the single mothers?
Yeah.
Okay, so the post that you're referring to, it was piggybacking off of a comment that was made in the group, and the comments and constant comments that are made in the group. And oftentimes in the group, it always is said that single mothers are the root cause for a lot of the issues that we have in the dating world. The problem I have with those statements is, one, because we've had these issues in the dating world since the beginning of time. And two, we have men being raised by these same single mothers. So if the single mom is the problem, then it doesn't seem to make sense, because we have people making the same mistakes being raised by fathers, people making the same mistakes being raised by two parents, and yet somehow the single mother is usually the one that is to blame based off of trumped up statistics that don't exist as reality.
So you're saying the statistics doesn't exist because of your point of view, or you're just saying it in general?
No, I'm saying the statistics don't exist because they don't exist. The actual peer-reviewed studies that go with the actual statistics is that this millennial generation is the most, we have the most two-parent households of all generations. We also, as of right now, 70% more families have fathers in the home than ever before, right? And that's including
that's bogus, right? Bogus, right?
No, it's not. And that's including Black fathers.
Okay.
So what happens is, when we have these conversations, we constantly deal with myths that are being brought to us by, outside forces, because for unforeseen reasons and obvious reasons, they want Black women and Black men to be fighting one another. But what really happens, and what I always say is, we wouldn't have these problems. We were having dating problems long before, we got on the scene. Our mothers, our fathers, and their mothers and fathers, and their mothers and fathers before them have been dealing with these problems since long before. This is all rooted in slavery. So we can't sit here and make these grand statements that pretty much paint a broad brush to just one group of people as to blame, when really it has nothing to do with single mothers or women in general. It has everything to do with systemic racism, societal norms, and economic, infrastructure, and it being weakened over time through, various different, issues that have gone on. That's actual facts. And those are the actual things that are affecting our world in terms of relationships of today.
No, but you're saying, according to statistics, they say Black families has been combined the most ever. You talking about the most ever in this millennium? Because according to the U.S.,
most fathers that are in the home as of now. There's a myth that is currently being stated that the Black father is not in the home, whereas we're all in our 30s and we all have. Unfortunately, the issue we're having is that we keep being told that there are no Black fathers around and people don't have their dads in the home and children are being born without fathers, and that's just simply not true. There's the most since before baby boomers. This is the most we've had Black fathers in the home.
Now, are you talking about?
Go ahead. I can go ahead.
Yeah, are you talking about in a house of a 2-parent household, or you just say periodly?
I'm talking about period and in 2-parent households. We have the millennial generation is the longest lasting in terms of marriage, which was shocking because I know we have a 50% divorce rate going on right now. But then on top of that, we also have more Black fathers in the home. That's why I'm saying it is an absolute myth to state that Black men are not taking care of their kids. That's absolutely incorrect. That is no longer the case. Our generation wasn't raised by fathers.
And where do you get your statistics from?
So I go to universities that are peer-reviewed studies. You can just easily do a quick Google and you can find it on your own. And the issue I have is nobody seems to want to know that. Nobody seems to want to go through actual peer-reviewed research studies. What we do is we look at just whatever and look at whomever statistics that they just put on the internet from whenever.
But do you understand?
Any research? I'm sorry, what?
No, but do you understand some of these universities are being paid from the inside to give people the illusion that Black fathers are actually at the home when the real statistics show Black fathers are not at the home. And not only that, but the statistics also show that Black fathers are highly being on child support. So that logic doesn't make any sense.
So here's why I do not go with this types of conversations like this is because
why not?
I do not operate within conspiracy theories. I have never done that, and I choose not to. And I'm going to tell you why I choose not to. It is entirely ignorant to sit down and make up your own inferences based off of people's, assumptions because they think things are just afoot. Now, am I going to be naive and say that people are not trying to infiltrate the census and the government is trying to, recreate the storyline? Absolutely not. But here's the other issue. They want Black fathers out of the home. They do not want you in the home. They absolutely have been doing everything in their power to remove Black men from the home since slavery. It has been a significant process they have done, and that is on paper. We have so many different scenarios. Obviously, with the slave trade. Obviously, with Tuskegee, obviously with segregation, obviously with the labor movement, obviously with the crack epidemic. We have so many different times, and now with the prison pipeline system, school to prison pipeline system, right? So many ways to Sunday that they have been trying to remove Black men from these homes, and so many ways to Sunday that they have been trying to remove Black men from Black women so that we can fight each other. And so why I know it would be absolutely against their better judgment to tell us that Black men are in the homes is because right now, as we speak, we are seeing a huge influx because of us being college educated and because of us getting into the workforce and starting our own businesses and because of us kind of circling our dollars a little bit better than we used to. Now we're starting to see better sustained families within the Black community. But the problem is What you guys want to do is continue the narrative of the previous statistics from our generation, which isn't true. We are having kids and we are in our 30s. And yes, are there single mothers in these generations? Absolutely. There will always be. But what we are seeing is a lot more families within the Black community that are sustaining and having well-adjusted children all throughout their time.
Can I say something, Ms. Alexander? Ms. Nefertiti? Now, mind you, and I want to just say this to be like, because the way you talk, like the way you're talking, like your information is the all be all.
No.
You know, because you said conspiracy theories and stuff like that. And I'm just trying to and I just want to say this with respect, but it comes off like your information is the only right in saying that we're trying to continue a narrative. So, you know what I mean? And that's the point that where I just want to kind of like disagree with you. Like, this is not something we're just making up. You feel me? Mm-hmm. Now, when you say conspiracy theories, and you know me, I definitely, you know, we all understand the whole systemic racism and stuff like that. But you know what I mean? Now, and that's already been founded and laid. But when we talking about modern day sense, like if we can just even take certain even examples and just even from the point, like how many, even from the point with people who we know, how many single mothers you know?
I don't know that many.
You say you don't know that many? Not even.
That's why this is why I'm like, I don't. This is where I'm getting my stuff.
So
but that too. I only have about of my friends who are single parents, I have about one through death and one through choice. And then if you want to count myself, because I'm divorced, I would be one. Everyone else is married. Everyone in my circle are married with their children.
Okay. So if I tell you that I know many single, would you believe me?
Yeah, of course. I never refuted the statement that they don't exist. I said that they do. But I'm saying on the grand scheme of things across the United States of America, we actually are seeing a huge influx of Black men in the home. Did I say that they're still not single mothers? No, not at all. What I'm saying is that there's an influx, which means there's an increase of Black men in the home. So now the narrative has to change and the attitudes have to change about single mothers because somehow people are changing how they are raising their children.
I can't. Like you zoned out for a minute. I can't.
No. You want to know something? I get where she coming from, but then it's just like I guess everybody's just maybe driven by their own personal experience. I see something different. You feel me? You know what I mean?
Me too. That's what I say. I see something totally different.
I see something different, and I want us to have a just a real good discourse and to understand and to say this. And I don't want to like refute or say what you're saying is not wrong. But, sometimes I think that, when having these conversations with men and women, sometimes it kind of just get a little bit difficult because it's like it always going to be like one-sided. And you feel me?
Where am I being?
No. I'm not saying, Nefertiti, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like, there's certain things you say that I want to say something, but then I don't want it to just turn into something to think that, because you already start off and say conspiracy.
But do you see that? You know why I'm not okay? I'm not too fond of this part. Conspiracy theories that I'm referring to is because he said that the peer-reviewed research studies are being infiltrated by people to make it seem that we have more Black men in this country. That's what I mean as a conspiracy theory. You don't have proof of that. You're literally just making that up, and that is a conspiracy theory. You don't believe all of the statistics I'm speaking. You don't believe all of the statistics that I'm saying to you because a accredited university that is a peer-reviewed research study, which means it takes decades to create this content, to create these statistics, for them to bring this information to you, can't be even seen as factual or even help with the opinion because these are my opinions. I'm not saying that these are facts. All I'm saying is based off of this research, this is where my opinion stands. I believe
so it's your opinion, but it's not a fact.
I believe that Black men are more in the home now than before. I do not believe that single mothers are at fault for the dating woes that we are dealing with within our community. I believe that the issues that we're dealing with in our community have everything to do with other outside forces that have nothing to do with single mothers. But I feel like the accountability needs to rest on the right things and not women. What we are doing is having the wrong conversation And we're trying to find the solution, or at least it seems that we're trying to find a solution to that problem. So when I say conspiracy theories, it means this is a peer-reviewed research study. I have a psychology degree, so I work in this realm. So what I'm saying is there's nobody infiltrating anything, because what they used to do was infiltrate these studies to make it seem like Black men were this way or that way or whatever, and Black women were this way or that way. That was absolutely the case, but they had to go and check that and fix it. So now they're literally giving us this information that they don't want us to know. They don't want us to know this. They absolutely do not want us to know that Black men are succeeding and that Black men are educated or that Black men are doing well or anything like that. They want Black women and Black men to keep fighting because they want us to stay separated so that they can continue the systemic racism that they're doing. So that's why I'm saying why I'm giving you these statistics is not because I don't want what, I'm just being difficult. No, absolutely not. I'm giving you these statistics because that needs to be heard. You guys need to know this because if you didn't know this, you're going to keep thinking it the other way, and you're going to continue the narrative, the problematic narrative, in my opinion, that Black women are the problem or single mothers are the problem, when in fact that's not the case. That's not even close to the case.
No, yeah, we would never say Black women are. There's layers to a lot of this, but I'm just saying for certain aspects, it's just even for if we would just want to talk about just dating in per se, you know what I mean? And we all know more Black women are the most educated and stuff like that. And there's layers where you have situation, but we do know for a point that we do like certain decisions rely on the woman. You feel me?
Like
if you know what I mean? It's just to say from the point, you have the right, the choice to make certain decisions in a relationship. We can't control that. If you want to have a baby,
True.
You know what I mean? Like in the right of choice of that, or the choice of picking the right suitor. You know what I mean? Most women today who are educated won't date a blue collar man. They frown and look down on blue collar men.
What does that mean?
Huh?
What do you mean by they won't date? What's a blue collar man first?
Okay, let's say somebody that makes under 40K. You know what I mean? Somebody who's a janitor, somebody who works at Walmart. You know what I mean? Somebody probably washing cars. You have a lot of women who will look frown upon men.
No, yeah, I wouldn't date anyone like
that. And that's due to your earning potential, right?
It's because I have been with that already, and I know what it needs to sustain a family and a marriage. And I know that if you're not willing to do the work to make more, and let's say because if you were working at Walmart and that was all you were doing for like the last 5 years, it's kind of like how employers look at your resume, right? If you've been staying at Walmart and you never move from that position, this is just your spot. I'm not interested in having a relationship. I need someone who has their ambition and a plan and is actively doing what they need to do to execute that plan. Because otherwise, there's no way that we're going to be able to sustain when finances are low or when, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way. And I cannot be leaned on the whole way through by myself. I'm not a woman who believes that the man pays all the bills by himself, but I also am not a woman who believes that I, the woman, have to pay all the bills by myself either, or I have to take the brunt of that effort because I'm also the caretaker of these children. So I can't go and just, get 2 jobs, take care of these kids while you're still working at Walmart. That's not going to work.
But you and I know most, you have a lot of women who make more money than men, right?
You're absolutely right.
You know what I mean? And I do sometimes hear women have a contempt for a lot of men who don't make a lot of money and point the fingers and say that it's our fault or we're not ambitious. You hear that?
I've seen it and I've heard it. And honestly, the men who don't make a lot of money, almost every time any man I've ever met that didn't make a lot of money is quite literally his choice to not make a lot. I swear to God.
You sure about that?
Every single time because I always meet 2 of the same type of dude. I'll meet a dude who is in the same industry, right? Or started in the same place. It'll literally be the same place. They start the same spot, right? And so you'll meet like a Hakeem and a Ronnie. Hakeem, you'll be working at a janitor spot, no problem, whatever. Ronnie, you are a janitor, whatever. Ronnie will have a plan. He'd be the type of dude that has his janitor position, yes, but he knows that he has to do X, Y, and Z so that he can get to the next level. And he's going to night school at night so that he can get the degree, so that he can get this certification to do the next thing to this thing, right? That's the difference that is from now a Hakeem, right? Now I'm not. These are just examples. I'm just
No.
But then you guys have like the other.
Don't be exposing my job on the air. You exposing my job on the air.
So then the Hakeem dude, there would be dude. He's just a janitor, and he's like, well, I just got a job. And what happens is there's these Hakeem dudes. They will always be like, well, I got a job, and don't you want a man with a job? At least I got a job, and that's it. As if like this is the best thing ever, and we should give you a pat on the back for having a job. Like you were supposed to have a job, and there's no plan to move forward in that job. He got a rap career. He wanted to get his mixtape sell off somewhere, and that's it. But at the end of the day, that's all he got, and he ain't got no action.
No, but do you know? But him having a rap career and trying to sell his CD, that is the plan. He think of a big common goal.
What I don't understand is I have been on the side of where they had no career and now are Grammy-nominated producers and rappers. I have I know people who wins these awards, and I watch them work their ass off to get to that point. So my point is, if you have the rap career, do the work to get there. Never in the history of everdom have we ever heard a single one of these rappers or ball players tell you that they sat home all day and they just played they video games and was going to work and coming back. And they just wrote a couple rhymes every once in a while. Never. Every single one of them have told you how hard they had to work and how much they had to write and how hard they had to hustle to make sure that they could get themselves in front of the right person. Never have I ever seen anybody make it in any industry, especially as competitive as the entertainment industry, make it by wasting their time doing something else that they know they're not supposed to be doing. So I don't believe at any given moment that if you have a dream like that you have any time to be wasting on playing around or hanging out with your boys or drinking and smoking all day. And that's the problem. That's the biggest problem this is the biggest problem I have with it. I have no problems with you wanting to be entertainment industry. I have a problem with you wanting to be in that industry and you not doing the work to get behind it.
But I think that's a very small few number of men, though. You know what I'm saying?
It's hard to make it in this industry. What you want?
It is. You know what I mean? But the thing I know, the thing I want to say is, let's just say that there is going to be a segment of men who that's just going to be that cap. They might just have to work at Walmart. You feel me?
Why?
Huh?
Why?
And let's say that's just probably as good as they're going to get. You feel me?
Why? Nobody say why. That's their choice. If they choose to work at Walmart for the rest of their life, who are they to tell them you gotta do something different?
So do women have to accept that he wants to stay at Walmart?
No, she doesn't. She doesn't.
She doesn't. She don't have to accept it. She doesn't.
No. Listen, she doesn't. But let's say, for instance, like she doesn't, but she doesn't have to try to force or push a man to try to reach there. And this is the point where I want to get at. No, listen now. You have a lot of women who will meet a man and see a man at his current position, and the man will let you know that, hey, this is all I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to set forth. So this is where the point where she has a decision to stay or to leave. You know what I'm saying? And not to try to force a man to be something. And the point that I'm trying to get is, you're going to have as far as like suitors, most men that women really look for, there is only 10% of them, that those top earners up there that a lot of women go after. And there's like a large number of men who just work regular jobs who are not being looked upon due to that. You know what I mean? And that's the point where I'm trying to say, and for a woman to just be happy with just that, meaning that, hey, this guy, he works at Winn-Dixie Warehouse. This is what he wants to do. And I'm not going to try to change him. And I just got to accept him.
Here's what you said that's different from what you said earlier.
No, go ahead.
What you said earlier was women look down on men who work in those fields, right? Mm-hmm. And you said that they don't give them the time of day.
No, they don't.
My question is, if they don't care for these men, we look down on them and we don't date those, right? How are we not dating them and also trying to change them in breath? If I say I don't want to date you, that's not me trying to change you. I'm just saying, hey, I don't want to date someone who's here. If you to change this, that's on you. Once you do, you can let me know. And if I'm still interested, you can holler, try this out. But if you haven't done what you're supposed to do and you still want to stay where you are, no problem, no skin off my back. I'm gonna go on over here and find somebody else who fits the bill of what I want.
Yeah, definitely.
That's not trying to change you.
No, but is that was one point, but this is another point, because there is a large segment of women who's not going to even look at them dudes, but there is some women who will get with some of these guys and then complain.
There is a huge segment of women those women are idiots, and I will say that with my whole chest. They are
okay. Wow, okay, we agree on that.
You cannot. None of us have magical powers. You can't go into relationships trying to change people, and I've noticed this happens a lot with women. And a lot with men as well, but mostly with women, where they go into relationships and they see the man and he's shiftless and lazy and all these other things. And he has all these other qualities that she likes. She figures there's these little bits of qualities and fix, and she can inspire him to do better because she's doing so well and he inspire. Oftentimes women like to take on projects and they like to better these men. I was one of those women, so I understand fully what that means. But that's a naivete that comes with growth and time and lessons learned. And once women stop learning, once they learn that lesson the hard way, or sometimes the right way, most times they learn it the hard way, then they go on and make the decision that, okay, I will never date with somebody who I'll never do that or whatever. I had one incident with that. I was married to him. Now I know you can't make less than this amount of money a year because I need you to know how to sustain a livelihood and a family. So I'm in my 30s. I can't start at the bottom like I did when I was 19.
For you, money has to be the number one threshold.
It's not number one. It's a major part of it. You need to have a good job. You need to have a career. You need to have a plan, and you need to be good with money, because having money and being good with money are not the same thing. You need to be good with money, and you need to know that you want to make more money in the future. You need to work, and you need to be working and working hard. And you need to be okay with me working too, because a lot of these men who work, a lot of these big earner men, they don't like when their women work. No. And I can't.
Yeah, because the reason why I don't like them women working, because they know the whole point is for them to raise a family. They need to be at home.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
That's not going to work for me. We have daycares and we have nannies, and that's perfectly fine. So,
I'm confused. Go ahead.
I would find someone who I can find someone, or I can find someone who won't want that. That's the issue.
Yeah.
I don't mind if you want women to stay home. I'm just not going to be the woman you're with.
Yeah, you're a modern woman.
But hold on, but I want to answer because you say the system we live in is so systematic. It's against black people and against black family, this and that. Oh, black women should be wanting to stay at home to raise the black family.
No, there is no should. That's absolutely incorrect. There's no should. Nefertiti doesn't want to stay home because Nefertiti likes to run her business. And Nefertiti is good.
But you just said earlier when you were talking about the statistics and everything about the black family, or the government's against black family, they're against us being together and this and that. So if you have a black man telling you, hey, baby, I want you to be at home because I want you to raise a black family.
I don't have a black man telling me that. I found a black man who doesn't want that. That's the solution. Find someone, date within your tax bracket and date within your means. I found someone who doesn't want that. I found someone who works just the same way I work. We don't say that to a lot of these women. There's power couples for days. We see them all the time. Both of them working, both of them making big money, and both of them raising their children. So it is absolutely possible to do so. And I absolutely plan on being that woman just the same as that. I am still home with my child. I see her. I work from home. So there's that. I see her every day.
Okay, then that's a plus. I don't mind that. Stuff like that, I don't mind.
But
being home and having to stay at home.
But if and when this business is scaled to the point where I will be out of the office, or I working out of an office, then she's not going to see me. She's going to be at school, and after school, she's going to see me then, or she's only going to see me for a few hours in the day. Absolutely. I was gone for a week just this past week. She did not see me. She was with her father, and that's going to be okay because she understands her mother has a life. I was a person before I was a mother, and I get to be a person even while I'm a mother. And I don't think that's fair to make any woman want to stay home or have to stay home if they don't want to, because not every woman is fulfilled just by motherhood. Some women are, but I'm just not that woman. I need to have a job and I need making money.
And so you would you consider yourself a modern woman?
Nah, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I'm asking
because what you're saying doesn't sound like traditional values. It sounds like
It's what, you know why? Because traditional values that they had were kind of not, it was only traditional because women weren't allowed to work outside of like being secretaries, maids, and nurses, right? So
correct. That is correct.
So
no,
it
that is
wasn't
correct.
like they traditionally wanted to stay home. Some of those ladies, especially after World War II, I'm sorry, by the way, I'm a former history teacher, so you're gonna know that I know a lot of stuff. Some of these women after World War II, because the men were deployed, they had to get in and become engineers and doctors and, do all these different things because the men were at war. Some of those women wanted to stay in the workforce after that because it was great, which is kind of what jump-started that whole women's suffrage movement and women getting their rights to get the pay and all this other stuff, which we still don't have, but whatever. And so that is why I don't really know if I'm modern, as I'm just kind of a product of the work that those women did in the 50s.
No, because a traditional woman would be like, you know what, I'm going to leave my career. I'm going to stay at home, take care of my family. I don't mind having a stay-at-home business, but my whole goal and my whole purpose as mother is to raise my kids while my man take the initiative to go to work and to earn the money and to take care of me.
I don't think that's traditional, but that could be. And I don't know. I don't believe it's traditional because I don't believe that's traditional, but if you're basing it off of the Bible, then yes, that would be modern.
No, not even in the Bible. That was literally back in the
Bible. That's what I'm saying. Like that's what the Bible
that's in the Bible. I'm asking
so if you want to base it off of that as what I should be doing based off of what the Bible says, sure, I'm modern, but I don't.
No, because the Bible
you are modern, though.
No, but the
Can
Bible
I tell you
also
something?
say the woman shouldn't work. I said the woman should have a stay-at-home business. Go ahead.
Hey, Nefertiti, my bad. I mean it, Nefertiti. You sound like you run your house. You sound like you run your nigga, though.
No, and people think that a lot because
you do, because you don't sound submissive at all.
That's your business.
No, she just need a strong. She just needs a strong man to handle her. You can't be weak. You can't be a bitch. You can't be a beta male than her. You gotta be strong. You gotta be strong-minded. Like what you said.
What you think and what your assumptions are ain't got shit to do with me. I do
exactly.
not. I respect him.
She sounds strong, but part of you like you got that submissive side.
Hey, listen, I never met her. I'm just going by what you say. You know what I mean? Because you sound like the way you talk, like you got your foot on somebody's neck.
No, you know why? Because I found somebody who shares the same values as I do.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have to run him. You see what I'm saying? I don't run niggas because they know who they get when they get me. So he knew who he was getting when he got me. He's in the
which is good.
that wants his woman to work.
Yeah, and that works for him. And then
he wants me to work. He likes the fact that I run my own business. He was impressed by that. And he invested in it from the day he met me. And he's been a huge, huge part of supporting me from before he met me. He used to watch every podcast.
Is he black or white? Didn't mean I would go too much.
No, he's black or white. No, he's a dark-skinned brother. He's a part of the family.
Oh, he did. Okay.
He's a good dude. He
understood. He understood the value of who I am as a woman, and he understood two things. You allow her to speak her piece, and you allow her to be herself. If you don't do that with me, if you don't let me be me, then we can't be together. But what I don't do is I don't disrespect him. I don't embarrass him. And I don't put myself out there in these streets to have him looking stupid. I would never. He has boundaries.
I do
is to be submissive, in my opinion, is your man comes to you and says, these are my boundaries. And you say to him, okay, I can respect that. I had a conversation just the other day. Mm-hmm. Someone had requested some information from me. It turned out that they were hitting on me. I let him know what was going on. He let me know. Moving forward, Neff, I would prefer that you send them to your business email because I can't have that again. I said, absolutely, no problem. And moving forward, that's exactly what I did.
That's respect.
I don't have any problems changing around certain things to make sure that he is comfortable because at no point should he ever feel like there's any threat to this relationship.
But let me ask you a question. Neff, do you cook clean for him? Wash his clothes?
I don't wash his clothes because that's ridiculous. What the fuck do I have to do? He is a girl.
Oh.
I don't have to wash his clothes for him. He lives on his own and I live on my own. But what I do is I do cook. When I cook here for my daughter and myself, I'll let him know that I've made food and make him come and get it if he wants to.
Or you don't go bring him a plate? You don't clip his toenails?
I don't clip his toenails. That's ridiculous.
How that's ridiculous, though?
Because that's not us. Like, why would I need to do that? He's not a baby. He's a man. Like, you guys see, the thing about y'all is that y'all look at submission as like you catering to a man in a way that like makes him feel like the king in the work castle.
You're supposed to make your man feel like a king.
Yeah, but every nigga don't think the same way. Clipping his toenails is not the thing. I treated him to a pedicure at the salon with me. That's what
somebody gonna have to clip my toenails though.
If you want someone to clip your toenails, then find a bitch who want to clip your toenails.
Yeah, that's a fact. Somebody gonna do that.
I treated him to a pedicure at a salon because that's what he likes. He wants to get his face, he likes to get himself groomed. We will go and I'll take him out. I take him out on dates.
Yeah.
I pay for things.
That's good.
I buy things for him, all that stuff. I just shaved his head this morning because he had to go back into the office. Those are the things that I do. I'm not going to treat him. He's not a baby. He's not like that's not.
That doesn't mean you're a baby to cater you to a man. But I want to ask you a question. Like, what was your family dynamic?
I was raised by a single mom because my father was in New York. I'm from Brooklyn.
Okay, and, represent Flatbush.
Thank you.
Eastern Park.
My father was in Brooklyn, and my mother raised me down here in Miami. And I was transplanted back and forth between Brooklyn and Miami my childhood. Because my dad, he was very active in my life. I was raised by a Jamaican woman, and I was raised by a Grenadian father. So I have a lot of
different culture, different variety.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess if you would call it. And I was raised with my sister. I had an older sister. My baby brother wasn't born until I was in college.
Okay. Now let me ask you a question. Now, you seem very tough. You got a lot of toughness in you. Feel me? Yeah. And I want to know where does that come from though?
Life.
No. And I get that. But did you have some experience that kind of like toughened you up?
Oh yeah, I got divorced. That's enough. That was enough. I also have bipolar disorder. And going through bipolar disorder while being married to a narcissist was not ideal.
Mm-hmm.
What made him a narcissist? Why do you think? What made him?
He's a narcissist, and he'll tell you that he is one as well. So not me just saying this. He does go to therapy. It is prescribed. But he. My ex-husband, I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about him just to give you that heads up.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. My ex-husband is of the Haitian variety. And so he was a very...
Oh, he is old?
Yeah.
Praise the Lord.
Yeah.
See me, your baby is old?
I was in Etienne for 5 years. So my ex-husband was, he was really big on gaslighting. He was really big on avoiding accountability. He was really, really big on lying. He lied to me today. Literally, he lies all the time. He doesn't even know when he's doing it. And my daughter had to call him out on it and be like, "No, Daddy, you can do that. That's not nice." And so then he had to come back and be, and he does it like as if it's his regular vocabulary. He was carrying on an affair with our family friend. That was also his boss and my coworker, who my daughter adored. And so he was doing an affair with her, and I knew it was an affair, but he would gaslight me till the cows came home. He knew my triggers really well, and so he kind of used those to like get me to like, pop off on him and stuff like that. And I had a very bad anger problem and a very, very bad temper. And I used to hit him whenever the fight got too big, which was my claim to the dissolve of the marriage. I had a bad habit of putting my hands on him. And eventually I ended up spending a night in jail, being Baker acted, losing access to my daughter for 90 days, 3 months.
Yeah.
For 3 months, because he turned into the bitterest of baby mamas I could ever see. And he did everything he could to try to keep me from her. And he almost succeeded, but then of course I did what I had to do and went to the courts, which is why I have a lot of sympathy for single fathers, but I also don't at the same time because I did what I had to do. And so now we've kind of gone past it. We're actually in family counseling right now, and we've moved past it. That was all about 4 years ago. 4 years ago that all happened. And I learned from my mistakes. I learned through the process of that. And I learned where I went wrong, and I sat down and I spent the time working on myself, doing the healing, going to therapy, and I learned a lot of things from it. Yep.
Do you recommend women to go to therapy?
I recommend everyone to go to therapy.
You want to know something, Nefertiti? When you just say that, I just want to say I love you.
Okay.
I love you that you say that. I love you. No, for real. Because he say we recommend therapy all the time, and I think therapy can take us to a whole another level of things. You know what I mean? I even recommend when people get into a relationship, even after the first year, we should go to like couples.
I did that the first thing out the gate. As soon as I got with my man,
you know what I mean? I recommend that because I think that understanding one another and having a third party that's a professional too, we can highlight some things that we might be, you know what I mean, lacking on, or what we can work better on can better help us. You know what I mean? It's a constant, you know what I mean, constant trying to see what's going on or what we can do to benefit each other. You know what I'm saying? And
I think black men go through enough in this country.
And you too, black women too.
Black women too. And I feel like as a people, I feel like black men need, they don't feel comfortable talking to their women, which is unfortunate, but I understand why. And so I feel like if you don't feel comfortable talking to us, find someone you do feel comfortable talking to. Because if you guys continue this route of not, speaking your feelings, you guys are notoriously like statistically, you guys keep dying before us, like of heart attacks. You know what I mean? The stress is killing you. It's literally killing you. If the cops aren't killing you, the stress will. And it can't happen. And that's what they want. And I really honestly, truly, I really hope if any black man hears me and knows this, to know that therapy is great. If you can't find you a good lady that will sit down and listen to, take your ass to a therapist, because there's a lot there. There's a lot of anxiety and depression and all that.
You want to know something, Nefertiti? I'm happy that you say that to highlight that. For a man like me speaking, you know what I mean? There's many relationships that I've gotten into where if something was to go on, there's like that apprehensiveness, because there's certain women who don't know how to take certain things going negative. You know what I'm saying? And this is where men get scared to say that, because a woman automatically supposed to think you're supposed to have it together. And I'm not saying all women. I'm just saying like there's certain relationships you get into where a woman might look at you like Superman, but sometimes you can't always be Superman. Because, at the end of the day, we breaking down at the barbershop to the niggas at the barbershop. Right. You feel me? Like, damn, man, she out here tripping and I just lost my job. And sometimes a woman don't know the man done lost the job, because it's all that perception. We constantly have to be strong every day. You know what I mean?
And I think you guys would be real hard pressed to find out that your woman is actually really wanting to help you. Like really, really wanting you to like come to her and vent and cry and help you. I think it takes a lot for y'all to do it. Look, I'm with the strongest of niggas right now. I promise you I know. But it took us a year. I mean, he's gonna kill me for saying this, but it took a while. But I got him to a place where when he is dealing with something, he comes to me. And we as women, I've always told my friends this: give him time, give him his space. He's not ready yet, right? But the big thing is, you guys have to fight through that fear of her saying, "You a weak nigga, why you crying for? You a little bitch baby, blah, blah, blah," and talk. Now, I'm going to just I need to make sure I make this point clear, because I have met bitch niggas. I have met them. And I'm going to tell you what makes them that, so that you don't think I'm one of those women like, oh, you see why we can't talk about our feelings? No, I am not a fan of people. And this is people, there's men and women who are whiners with no solution.
Yeah.
To be, and I do not enjoy entitled whiners. And I find that there's another segment of men that have somehow come out of the fucking woodwork who like to complain and whine and cry and fuss with no solutions to back that up, right? And if there's one thing I've learned about men are about solutions. They really hate when we vent. They hate it with every part of it. They hate it. They hate when we sit there and we babble at you about that girl at work and vent all day, because your solution is, so don't talk to her or so go to HR, or, you just want to get the solution so we don't have to talk about this girl no more. And when I meet men who are not solution oriented, it's almost aggravating because I don't understand how you cannot want to just solve this problem for yourself and you just want to fuss about it and cry about it. Those men, I believe, are the most in need of therapy because they are lacking the confidence to be able to like make those solutions happen. That's just my opinion. But so I wanted to make sure that's understood. Like, yes, there are men out here who feel the way they feel because they are whiners, and women are not interested in listening. Same way you guys don't like to hear us do it. Same way we don't.
No, definitely.
But I want to ask you, who did they get that trace from?
The one that I know, he was raised by his dad, so I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, so you don't know. Oh, no,
I don't know, but there's if you want to, I would say his father, but his dad is definitely not that person. So
he got it from where? So he got it from his mother, or he got it from hanging around women?
I think people need to understand that like personalities are not all just from nature. There is some, all not from nurture. It is nature. People are just born the way they are. Some people just have personalities that are susceptible to that type of behavior. He's a good dude. He's just a whiner. But
I know you agree. Mother are the first teacher. I know you agree with that. Mother are the first teacher. That's the first. Mothers are the first teacher.
But he didn't have his mom, so I don't. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's not. You gotta understand. Like, I don't. From the ones that I do know, literally the ones I do know, it's a mixed bag. They either have two parents or they have a dad. I don't know a lot of didn't have their dads actually. A lot of my friends have fathers in life, so that's another access to.
But someone like me, perfect example. I was raised in a 2-parent household. Some of my traits, the whining, the bickering, the upsetness, I got that from my mother. Because my dad, he doesn't whine. My dad's very solution-based. You can see it just by looking at my brother. My brother is a perfect example. My brother, you see, like, he don't whine, he don't complain. But me, I was always around my mother. So every time my mother whine and complain, I got that trace from her. So most of the time, men get that from somebody. And like you said, his father is very well-winded, meaning that he's very to himself, like he's very confident. He knows how to solve problems. That's why I say most of the time a man get that from a woman.
Are you the youngest?
I am the youngest brother. Yeah.
Then
one of the youngest brothers.
You probably didn't get it just from your mom. You also probably got it because you were babied much more than your.
I was saying the mother. I was saying my mother. I was saying the mother.
But what I'm saying is that can't always be. You had that experience, and yeah, it could be from the mom. But I need that to be understood that sometimes it's just because my ex-husband was raised by both, and he was just the youngest. So because he was the youngest, he got away with more. Most people who are the youngest just tend to be entitled brats.
I think he might be my cousin.
Who might be your cousin?
Your husband. We got the same last name.
Etienne?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's literally his last name.
That's my last name, yeah.
Well, if you have a Jesse Etienne in your family, go talk to him.
No, don't do that, baby. We ain't gonna talk about my cousin like that.
But yeah, I mean, there's that. I think it's just. I don't think it's just the moms, though. I really don't. I'm not going to be sitting here being like, it's moms and moms raise their boys like this. I do know babied kids. I do know there are children who are babied and by mothers, and mothers are, very notorious for being.
I would say because mom by nature are nurturers. Mom by nature want to protect their kids. Mom by nature are very overprotective. So I'm not bashing the moms at all. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying because of that trace the mother had, it kind of goes inside the child. The child kind of receives that, and he thinks the world has to be giving something to him. Like, perfect example, like LeBron James. LeBron James was raised by mom, but now people are calling LeBron James the biggest whiner in the NBA because he was raised with his mom. And it's like everything he do, got like somebody got to give it to me, and life doesn't go that way.
I've seen that with so many men like him, and I do see that happens with mothers. But I'm also saying is sometimes it's just the fact that these people just have this type of personality. And oftentimes when you look at the trajectory of their lives, it's because everything they did something, it was given to them. That was it. They didn't have to do any extra effort to get it. They never heard no. And so now they're big mad about stuff when things don't go well.
Yeah, exactly.
And so sometimes it has nothing to do with the moms, and it has everything to do with just how they were navigating through life because they never really had major disappointment their whole life. And I've noticed a lot of these men who are like this are because nobody ever told you no. And you walking around entitled and big mad about a girl not wanting to say, take you, oh, these bruh don't do. You guys are so entitled. Sit down somewhere and just accept the fact that somebody don't like you. And that's it.
I ain't gonna lie. I had to take that. I had to take that on reality. And I'm gonna keep it a buck. Even though we on this podcast, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Because I had that reality when life kicks me in my ass. Then I realized, you know what? I'm doing something wrong. I need to go and change it. And that's what happened. I went and go change it. I realized that certain traits a man, they say quote unquote man should have. I realized it was poison for me, myself. I'm talking about myself. I'm not speaking for all men. I'm talking about myself. It was poisoning me as a man because it made me feel like, for example, in my job, I don't get a promotion. I'm mad the whole day. I'm going pouting and mad and want to kick the door and this and that. And realize, you know what? And they don't want. Then when I hang around men, like I came and other men, I started hanging around men, and I started seeing that they really solution based. They were like, hey, if the job knock you down, hell, create your own job. And that's what I motherfucking did. So that's what I'm saying. Like, man, sometimes men don't have that. Especially us, especially black men, we don't have that mentorship. And I think black men needs that mentoring from other men to make them strong, like you saying, like your man you dating now, like you see how he's strong-minded, stuff like that. We need that.
I think though,
you know what I'm saying?
I think this idea of being a man and being strong is counterintuitive to men feeling open enough to talk about their emotions, because we don't make that distinction very clear. You can be strong, and there is strength in vulnerability, and there's strength in talking about how something is making you. And I think that needs to be understood. You can be a strong man who cries, and it'll be okay. You can be strong and say, I don't feel comfortable with that. That upset me. You can strongly say that and it'd be okay. And I think that needs to be understood. I don't believe that being a strong man is always about, just going through life and taking the L's and just keep going and whatever. I do believe that you shouldn't be whiners, but I don't believe people in general should be whiners. I feel like everyone should be solutional. And I think the reason why people are whiners, our generation is just a bunch of whiners because we're millennials and we got participation. But, even so, we have the power to change that. But I think men need to know that they have women here ready to listen and not, put them down for. But
we need to say it for the record. We got to make sure to say it for the record. It got to be the right woman, because there's some women like the city girls. You tell them your problems to, they will expose you on social media.
Well, what you mean, the DMs exposure?
Yeah.
No, like your DM exposure, the comments. Women would do that because they're in their feelings. They're like, oh, and it happened to me recently. They happened to me recently. And
it happened to me recently for a very good
I'm trying to tell you, women would do that, and that's not cool.
I will always be okay with exposure of DMs on social media. I will always be okay with it, because men have gone far too long being unchecked with this ridiculous ass behavior in these DMs. And
but what give you the right to do that, though?
I am so thankful that we have screenshots now, because we kept saying to everyone, men are in our DMs acting crazy. These men are in our DMs being reckless. These men are in our DMs talking nonsense. And no one believed us. And the screenshot feature came and we showed you, this is what the fuck we're seeing, and we don't like it. Stop it.
But to me, that's so childish. Why not just block them? Or why not block the man? Why expose them like that?
We will block you, but we will also expose it, because it needs to be exposed so that this man doesn't do it to other women. Do you know how many times I have seen where a DM, there's a dude in the group actually, he DM'd everyone. He copied and pasted the same DM. That's actually multiple dudes in the group who have gotten caught doing this. Multiple dudes, okay? Copied and pasted messages and sent them across the board to all the women in the group. And so one day, us women, we're starting to become friends and stuff and catch, we're in the DMs and chats together. Now we're becoming friends. And so one woman decides to share a dude that was interested in her and starts to tell us what was said to her. And before she finishes the sentence, the next woman in the group chat finished her sentence for her, because she knew exactly what was being said, because that was sent to her as well. And by the end of that conversation, we all got the same message, including myself. We all knew exactly who it was. And so we decided, okay, now it's time to expose. And so we shared it amongst ourselves to see what was going on. So I said, I think it would be interesting to find out how many women in the group really had this issue. So we posted it. And just like that, he stopped harassing them. Just like that. That's why it's important to expose. Because if we don't speak up, you guys will continue doing the bad behavior because nobody's checking you. Because even if we block you, even if we say stop, you're going to change your profile and you're going to do it anyway. Niggas are weird. Like there's weird niggas out here. So you may be doing fine, but we can't just sit down and figure out if you're a good guy or not. So unfortunately, no, niggas is weird. Like there are too many.
Yeah, I know that, but
here.
doesn't that you probably might like you hit the wrong person and turn the wrong person off?
Oh well, then
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Charge it to the game. Like you gotta understand, there was a viral video of a dude who pulled a gun out on women because he got rejected. Literally just the other day.
True. That's a fact. Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah.
Okay.
That's true.
This is known. And I'm from Brooklyn. Bitches get shot when you tell these niggas no.
Listen, I know that for a fact. I was at the carnival one time.
You was at the carnival when that happened.
I was at the carnival when that happened. I was there that day.
I was in New York for that carnival. I chose not to go to carnival in Brooklyn for this reason, because them niggas don't know how to
That
act.
Was wild. He shot that girl in the face.
And he shot her dead in her fucking face because she said no. Yeah. And the reason why I say to men all the time, we don't know. We are not going to sit here and do a psychology study on if you are one of those men or one of the other men. We don't have the time to decipher between the two. So we have to approach you all the same way, and you got to you got to do the work. You got to do the work to prove yourself, because I cannot be the one to try to figure it out, because my life depends on it. I can't be the one to figure that out. So I have to give everybody the same energy, and you got to do the work to fix that. Literally, that's literally how it has to go. Because when I tell you 3 niggas in that group, 3 have to get exposed for doing that foolishness.
So you say Les Chat was on that desert? That's what you say?
It's just funny. Some of them were just being, lame, and some of them were being harassing, and some of them some of them were just being thirsty. But
listen, there's a question I want to ask you, but your homegirl Judy got on that the other day, was like, you not gonna find no husband in Les Chat.
Nah,
you gotta go find them outside.
They're all taken.
Yeah, I always thought Les Chat was a playground for dudes to get that ground and pound.
I'm not going to say that's not true, because I've heard some stories. I've heard some stories. I'm not even gonna say that's not true. I know y'all don't like. I know y'all hate being exposed. I know y'all hate being exposed. But you know what? Stop running your mouth. That's all I'm saying. But running your mouth. Stop it.
Let me ask you a question. No, you're right. I agree with you on that. I agree with you. You do got a lot of dudes that be on that weirdo tip, though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
they weird.
They be on that weirdo tip. But, the question that I want to ask is, and I'm happy that we had this Discord, because we agree on a lot of similar. My main thing is this: what do you think we can do to, as far as just, just from on maybe a surface, for us to just get along? You feel me? And I'm just saying in general, like men and women, for us to come to like a common understanding on one another.
I think black men, you're talking about us as black men and women, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I think black men have to let go of the rules that were set before them by white men. The rules about the patriarchy, or the rules of the patriarchy in our society wasn't built for you. They wasn't ever built for you. That bro-ham office politics energy, where you guys get to talk about the sports and stuff, y'all got to keep your head on way more of a swivel than you're doing, because the way you are applying those same like stupid, rules of like the traditional woman and all that other stuff to black women, that doesn't apply here. First of all, black women have been working mothers to the beginning of time. We never got to stay home. That's not for us. That was never for us. You understand? We've always had to support our men. Always, forever. You understand? And I think that's something that you guys have to remember. That's the first thing. I think black women have to do a better job at holding themselves accountable. I think black women have to do a better job at not perpetuating that same misandry that the misogyny brought to us. I feel like black women being raised, especially the ones who are raised by their own fathers. My dad is is one of those men. And I had to break through what he was telling me to make sure that I wasn't perpetuating that. Because my father made it very clear to me that I shouldn't be with a man that does no less than. And a man better have this. And a man better do this. And man must make sure he have this. Because my father is hardcore, hardcore man. And I must take care of my family and whatever. But you know what?
And your father was he raised in Haiti or he was raised in United States?
No, he's Grenadian.
My father's from Grenada.
Oh, Grenada. He was raised in there, right?
Right.
Okay.
He was raised there. And my father explained to me that he always explained to me that I have to have my own before I ever go chase after any man. I have to have my own business. I have to be an entrepreneur. I was raised to be that way. All of women. And we have to make sure that we have our name on everything, because these men can wake up tomorrow and leave and you will have nothing.
You want to know, so and I'm not gonna do, because that's what he's touching on, and I'm and you know, and then that's just different segments of how people was raised. And we
I took differently from that. I understood where he was coming from, and so I do have my own, and I do have my nest egg and my own everything, so that I can always be protected. But I also don't apply a lot of these hyper mass rules that he applies to I don't apply them to mine, because 2021, and that's ridiculous. Like, what the fuck? You're not gonna build a house.
I love the fact that you're able to be self-aware about it.
Yeah, I understood that from jump, because it was clear to me that what he has his own standards. Now, granted, he loves my current boyfriend. And he still has traditional standards, like, it's time to get married, for your hand in marriage and all. And I'm like, all right, whatever. I'll placate to that, because I understand that's important to him, but he understands that it's not important. And he understands why, and I don't mind doing it, because that's what my dad wants, and I love my father. And I am a daddy's girl, so I, whatever. But at the same time, certain things that, like, man must, like, open all of your doors for you and open your car door for you. I ain't finna trip if you ain't opening my car door. Like, I'm not gonna die, that's not a standard for me. That's not a major standard for me, because I don't believe that makes you a better man, because I had a man who did that and he was terrible. So I don't believe that that's the thing that's going to make him a better man.
But how did it make you feel, though? How did it make you feel when you?
It doesn't make me feel any kind of way. There's certain levels of chivalry that I do appreciate and I do expect. It's kind of come standard, which I didn't realize it was something I've always experienced. I never knew that men didn't do this. So I've always walked on the inside of the sidewalk. I don't touch trash. Like, if we're taking the trash out, I've literally tried to take the trash for my boyfriend to go help him. He's carrying, and he'll hand me something else. He won't let me take out the trash. He lets me go through the door first, period, end of story. And where there's no argument there. But other things,
it's protection. That's smart.
Yeah. Other things though, like paying for the bill or anything like that. Sometimes I pay for it. Sometimes he pays for it.
No, definitely. So now, now that I spoken to you, I get you are a modern woman with certain traditional values.
I really don't know. I guess I just
I'm just saying you say
I believe in in tradition in certain things. I believe that the man is the head of the household, and I believe that I am allowed to speak up and provide insight and ideas, but I do believe that the final say is. I did have a rule.
Finally, somebody said it. Thank you. I've been saying that for the longest. My God, I love her now.
I had that rule in my marriage, and it didn't go well. But I know that this time it would go well, because I have someone who's going to listen.
You made my day.
No, definitely, because he's the CEO and you the co-CEO.
Right, and that's pretty much it.
Let me ask you a question: are you gonna give him a baby?
Yeah, I want more children.
Okay.
I'm 35, so but I want more children.
Oh yeah.
Amazing.
No, definitely.
Hey, you say how to let chat, but let chat is a whole different person. Always sometimes it's good to talk to somebody.
No, it's definitely because
see where their head is at.
Because you
shocked me today.
Yeah, you did, because there's a lot of people outside of Let's Chat got a different mentality about the women in it. You feel me?
Right.
I mean, the women of Let's Chat are definitely they go against a lot of what the men of Let's Chat have, and I don't think the men of Let's Chat are, and I don't think they realize that the women of Let's Chat have a lot more control over their agent than most women in history ever have. most of the women of Let's Chat were raised by both parents. Women in Let's Chat are entrepreneurs. Majority of us have a lot of money and a lot of autonomy. Most of the women in Let's Chat have children and have either been married or almost married or some kind of, some type of something in that sense. And so a lot of the women in Let's Chat, they're not, as my mom would say, they're not no poppy show. They're not like, you can't just talk to them any kind of way. You can't just, treat them any kind of way and it be cool. Like the women of Let's Chat are definitely better options than most women or men, out here. Like they're just the better option. But the problem is, I don't think it matters how much money or degrees or anything you have. Having common sense still needs to be common. And I don't care how old you are. Women and men make stupid ass relationships since the beginning. And this is something that I've seen in Let's Chat, outside of Let's Chat, around Let's Chat. It don't matter. Women do the same shit. And so now you have the sister wife situation in Let's Chat where these niggas will Sherry do to fucking this. And these women just kiki and have a good grand old time behind the same dude and know it and fight over these men. And to me, I don't understand that. I can't get down with it. There's dudes who've liked me prior to my relationship because I met my man. Dudes liked me in that group, and women who like that dude would want him and be mad that he wanted me. They ain't got shit to do with me. But they be mad. I'm not gonna fight no bitch about no man. Period. There's too much penis. There's too much. It's too much. It's way too much.
And this is my last point. The thing that I used to trip me out about that place was I know there was a lot of people that was very educated on there and stuff like that, but the type of conversations was kind of left. You feel me? And
these conversations go. There are some women in there that they don't have a good handle on their, but I also want to say that there's a lot of men in there that don't have.
You see, and definitely, but certain posts that I seen that was like off the chain was coming from like certain questions,
what are the
stuff
questions?
like that, and I was just like, yo, if y'all was supposed to be there's certain things you're not even supposed to be talking about online. And I say, everybody got their own thing, but if you're trying to hold yourself to a high regard, and there's a lot of people who on the outside just looking in because you don't know. There's some things I've seen women post on there who I thought was like another way. I'm like, oh damn, she must be a super freak. You know what I'm saying?
Next topic. Okay.
Yeah, like stuff like that.
Yeah, you know what to say.
Like it was some wild stuff like, is having it should head be important in a relationship? And I'm like, man, that's not you post online. Like, because most
that's the question.
You know what I mean? Because here's the thing: most men, especially me, I'm gonna just be honest with you. I don't want a woman that's heavily on, like, involved in, because, social media tends to break up relationships. You feel what I'm trying to say?
Ooh. Oh, sorry. I have to stop you. I run a social media.
No, but that's different. You see, you on there for business. You on there for business.
No. I've studied social media for this reason. Remember, in order for you to run a social media, you have to know how people manage their social media personally.
And I'm speaking from my opinion.
I understand.
That's not definitive.
You know what breaks up relationships? Stupid people. Social media ain't got shit to do with any of this. People are stupid. And they go on social media and they put whatever they feel like they can because there's a false sense of anonymity that comes with posting on social media. People go and they post whatever because they think nobody can see them because screen is like Teflon. And then what happens is everyone is comparing themselves to the other person's highlight reel. So you are here comparing your behind the scenes to the next person's highlight reel. And what happens with social media is that you think your relationship is trash because this bitch just got a brand new range from her man, not knowing he was beating her ass just the day before. You out here comparing your relationship to the nigga that's in your DMs because he said Sherry doing better to you than the other nigga. And the big important fact is just because your man is so slow to respond to your text messages, well, that man is so quick to respond to your text messages on Facebook DMs is because he's being slow to responding to his girlfriend's text message, talking to you. Everywhere you look, the grass will always be greener on the other side on social media. Social media only ruins relationships because people allow it to. If you posting your relationship on social media is ruining a relationship, it wasn't a real relationship to begin with.
Hey,
damn, you went in on that one.
Yeah, you went in there. You went in on that.
You went in on that. Sip of water. Damn.
I
had to take a sip of water.
I don't got no more else to say. You know what I mean? You kind of set me straight on a lot of things.
Well, then, I can't you already know. Then that being said,
no, hold on. No, we're not gonna do that. No. I don't know if Ms. Nefertiti got maybe any last words to want to tell people to our audience and stuff like that.
No, thank you for having me.
Oh, I love to have you.
Okay,
we love to have you.
Yeah, we love to have you on the show. I ain't gonna lie. I want to bring you back on again with another friend of ours. She's like the strong-minded person. It'll be good for us to talk about certain situation in our community.
When you're not busy, because I know you're going back out of town.
Oh, we'll figure that out because
we will.
I leave again.
Okay. So we're gonna end this off with Shay Doodoo.
No.
Okay. So that being said, KR Culture Radio.
Shay Doodoo.
Man, I just appreciate y'all just listening. Stay tuned for the next episode.